The next time you see a sheriff's deputy in uniform on the slopes, don't assume there's something wrong. A group of 2 deputies and 1 sergeant with Summit County Sheriff's Office make up the Special Ops Division. Their duties include visiting ski areas during high times like the holidays and spring break, but they also assist local search and rescue volunteers from summer through winter on dozens of calls, from water to avalanche rescue. We talked with Sargent Mark Watson about the daily life of a Special Ops ski sheriff and why they rely on the public just as much as the public relies on them to prevent injuries and even death on the slopes. Phil Lindeman, Krystal 93 News Director, and I'm in the studio today with Mark Watson. He's a sergeant with the Summit Sheriff's Office, and he is in the Special Operations Division. Mark, thanks for coming in to join us on this snowy February morning.
Well, great to be here, Phil, and yes, finally some more snow. So we're all very happy today, I can tell you that for sure.
Absolutely, everybody's happy, and hopefully everybody's driving safe and not making your guys' day more busy than it has to be.
Well, like we all know, they keep it interesting.
Keep it very interesting. Well, speaking of interesting, your job with the Summit Sheriff is one of the more interesting jobs. You are one of a few who gets out on skis and will be out on the slopes every once in a while. So tell us how that works. Here in a mountain community, it's not uncommon to see law enforcement on the slopes.
No, I'm really very lucky. I work for our great sheriff's office, who's very supportive on the stuff we have out here, and that is our recreation. And one of our big parts of recreation is skiing, and our sheriff's department and our sheriff supports that 100%. So part of my job is to get out on the mountain, and I have a group of 2 other special ops technicians with me, and we also, with our sheriff's office, have a volunteer program where our deputies get out on the ski area to help out there.
Oh, really? I didn't know about the volunteer side of things. So how does that work? On a typical day that you spend on the slopes, what does that look like? What are you doing?
The idea of getting out on the slopes is to get out with ski patrol and get out with their mountain watch people and just show that we're there for their support. We're there on those trails that are run for slow areas, and we're there to help just advise people that skiing responsible is very important out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that, every season there are a few very rough accidents where somebody maybe gets hit and whoever hit them runs away, or there's just not enough evidence to help them, kind of track down what happened on the slopes. What can you recommend to skiers and snowboarders and anybody else on the mountain if they find themselves in an accident where an injury is involved, or even if there's not an injury involved?
Right, so yeah, Phil, unfortunately we do have the odd skier collision, and majority of people are very responsible. They'll stay there, they'll check with that person, they'll make sure they're okay, and then they'll stay on scene until patrol gets out there, and like most responsible people, will help. But unfortunately we have a few that will maybe clip or crash into someone and they keep going, and they don't stop, and they don't look up the hill to check on that person. And now that person's in the hospital with multiple medical bills, and they're taking a long time to recover. So, the big question is, what can you do if you're a witness? And it's just like being out on the road. It's like witnessing an accident. I mean, what can you do to help? And, we all have cell phones nowadays. You can take a picture. You can take an extra glance and just double check what that person's wearing. What sort of goggles, what sort of helmet, what color jacket, and you can get a direction of which way they're heading. We don't want you to get involved physically and holding and touching them, but
don't try to stop the person, because you hear about that too every once in a while, where somebody will try to grab somebody and then it really escalates very quickly.
Yeah, so the responsibility of the public is huge for us. If they can just get that information, get it out to ski patrol, call their ski patrol line, say, hey, I saw that, I witnessed that, I saw that guy going down there, he's hopping on a chair chairlift and I saw that number on the chair, we can get the mountain watch, the ski patrol, and the ski employee lifties involved, because they have radios, they can get that out, and then from that point, the sheriff's office can assist with that, because it is a crime to leave the scene of an accident. Is a crime, and it's a devastating crime if it's you're out there skiing and you're having a good time and someone just takes you out and they don't sort of take any responsibility for that. So I'm just asking for that extra public help. You can be involved without physically getting in there. So take that extra spot, take that extra view, take that extra photo if you have time, and just get with those ski patrol guys, because they're great out there.
Yeah, and witnesses shouldn't be worried about fallout from this either. Like if you do see something, you're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to be held accountable for what happened. You're just reporting what you saw.
Yeah,
you're
exactly. You're helping the sport. You're helping the industry, and you're helping someone who may have got a severe injury or a minor injury just with their recovery. It's being involved with the sport. It's the best sport out there. It's we have
that's true.
Over 350 million skiers worldwide out there every year skiing. It's wonderful. It's personal freedom. It's getting out there. It's the only sport that I can really say that the whole family can go out and enjoy together and get a lot of giggles and laughs and just have the funnest day and come back to their condo and have some hilarious stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Great sport, as long as you're being responsible and being aware and being courteous out there on the road. Because like you said, I love the road analogy, because there's lots of people who would never think to drive the way that sometimes they ski or they snowboard, just being kind of totally in their own zone and unaware of what's going on around them. Yep. Now, dealing with collisions and some of those accident stuff, that's definitely part of your job. What else are you out doing on the slopes? When you're working with ski patrol, tell me a little bit about that connection with the ski patrollers at our local resorts.
So we're very lucky with the ski areas. We work with all the ski areas, and they really do help us out with our search rescues. They help us out with our avalanche deployment, and you're out there as a skier. You've seen the dogs out there. You've seen the avalanche dogs, and all those ski areas have avalanche dogs, and those ski areas have got the top-end patrollers to assist the sheriff's office if we do have an out-of-bounds avalanche, where we can use that as a resource for the sheriff's office to go and look for people, go and hopefully get a recovery of someone who may have been in an avalanche outside the ski area boundaries.
Yeah. Now, when something like that does happen, so say there is a search and rescue operation going on, what are the various roles? So what is Summit County Sheriff's role compared to, like a volunteer search and rescue group?
So the Summit County Sheriff's Office, we have a statutory obligation to have a search rescue group, an organization out there to assist with our public, and we're very fortunate to have some highly dedicated people within Summit County who volunteer their own time, anytime, 24/7, no matter what the weather is, to come and help you and locate you if you have an incident, a horrible incident, a scary incident, and you can't get back. And as a sheriff's office, I'm there to support those guys. I'm not going to run them. I'm not telling them what to do. As sheriff's office, we're there to support them, get the resources they need, and make sure that everyone gets home safe by the end of it. And that's something Summit County is very lucky to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were saying, not just a search group, but a very dedicated search group, all volunteers, every last one of them. And very talented people who have been doing this for years and years and years. Tell me, how long have you been on the skis with Summit Sheriff? Is that something that you started right away, or did it come?
Yeah, like everyone, it came when I was just a young little 4-year-old. Yeah, I came here in 1988 and was a ski bum like all of us, and haven't really left since. So. I've worked for Copper Mountain and Brackenridge, and moved slowly, moved over to law enforcement. But skiing's my passion. It's something I really enjoy, and I've been fortunate enough to be involved in it all my life. And having the support of our group here in the sheriff's office, the support of our sheriff to make sure the community here is safe, and we take a vested interest in what we have to offer here is so important to making this successful. And that support from the sheriff's office and the sheriff is just amazing that we've got it.
Yeah, huge support, a huge connection from all these groups, from Summit Sheriff to the rescue groups. What kind of training does the sheriff's office specifically do? When it comes to the ski stuff and the outdoor stuff and the rescue stuff, what do you do that's different than just the average deputy?
Yeah, I feel I'm constantly in training. When it's winter. We're out training on the hills with our avalanche deployment teams and with the ski areas on just what's going on. I have one of my technicians today up at A Basin training on how to use a ski patrol toboggan. We work closely with our CRAD, which is our Colorado Rapid Avalanche Deployment certification guys, and learn how the dogs and the technicians work. We train with Flight for Life. In the summer, we're training with Swiftwater, ice rescue coming up. It's just a constant training in this, because when we have incidents, unfortunately some of them are not so great, the recoveries, and you need to be trained to solve the problems.
Yeah, so and you mentioned as being part of the special ops group, the division, you don't just do ski stuff. It's all year round, based on, kind of connected to the outdoor sort of stuff. So yeah, come summertime, what kind of operations are you guys helping with?
Well, summertime, we're already planning for summertime. Yeah, winter's, you've got to be 6 months ahead constantly. So summertimes, we have the Swiftwater, we have our hikers, we have our climbers, we have our just the mountain bikers, the typical Summit County recreation fun. Got the rafters out there, so we're constantly out there preparing, boats. We've got Dillon Reservoir, we've got Green Mountain Reservoir, so, the sailing, the boating. So we're constantly training with our dive rescue team, water rescue team, Swiftwater team, just getting things ready, because our goal is to try and keep Summit County as safe as place as we can, and then when people do, like I say, get in a little spot of problem, hopefully we can be there to help them out.
Yeah. When it comes to a response on the sheriff's side, how often would it be that that more of the department would get involved than just the three in the special ops group? I'm sure that it depends on the situation, of course, but how often do other folks who don't do that constant training get involved?
A lot. I mean, yeah. No, we're very fortunate with our sheriff's office. We've got a highly trained group of people, right from our, start from the sheriff down to undersheriff, commanders, lieutenants, to detectives, to evidence technicians, to our patrol guys, to our jail guys, all the way to the ladies at the front desk running all our records. I mean, it's a highly trained. So when we do have stuff, we always be bringing in other people in for the incident. We've got the detectives to help with investigations. We've got patrol to assist us. If we need to knock on doors, it's a great team, and we're very fortunate to have that team available to us.
Great. Now, in terms of the seasons, obviously you said you're a huge skier. After you've been doing it for so long, which season do you feel is the toughest for response? Or again, is it based on the situation a little bit, kind of comes and goes with the details?
Yeah, no, lately, we've had a little lack of snow this year, unfortunately, and hopefully over this week it really does assist us with getting a little busier. But summer, our summer clientele, I would call it, our summer tourist season, we're busy. We're very busy. We've got so much fun recreation activity here, and it really does sometimes put a lot of strain on all our resources in the county, and our volunteers, if they're up all night for days on end or call after call, it's weary on everyone. But it's a it's a job we all love to do, or it's something we're out here to help, and it's our community, and we want to help our community. So no, it's summer's busy, winter, depending on how the season is. So it's going to get busy. I'm predicting for everyone there huge March. I'm predicting great snow.
Yeah. I'm hoping that everybody's predicting great snow. It's got to come eventually, and I would rather have it this season than next season. Great. Well, Mark, anything else that you can think of that people might not know about what you're doing? About the what happens behind the scenes with law enforcement out on the slopes or out in the backcountry?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone's aware. It's we've got a great recreation. Obviously, the winter's huge for Summit County. We do, over 3 million skiers here in our county in a season. And, it's just a couple of things. There's a couple of factors that really, really involve when there are incidents of injuries. And, it's really down to a couple of things, and it's speed is one of the big things. Speed and distance. So just be aware of where you are on the mountain, what terrain you're on, the ability of the skiers around you. If you're on a green slope, slow it down. And be aware of the person in front of you. Give them plenty of room, and get ready to stop on a dime, because you got every age and ability, and you're not sure if they're going to turn left, right, or right. You just don't know.
Well, and that's the truth. I remember talking with Tony C. over at Arapahoe Basin, and that's what he was saying. He was like, you might be the single greatest skier out on the mountain, but a dozen other people around you might be skiing for the very first time in their entire life. So you have got to take responsibility as that greatest skier on the mountain, and really, look out for those folks who are a little too worried about what's happening right in front of their face than what might be happening out around them.
That's exactly. And listen to Tony C. Trust me, he knows a lot of stuff.
Oh, and he has seen quite a bit. Just like I'm sure that the Summit Sheriff, you guys have seen quite a bit. Just about every instance you can imagine out there on the slopes.
We've seen a lot. Probably too much in many ways. It's been very interesting learning a lot about this, and when you're reading stuff about statistics on skier injuries, death, it's very factual. But just beware. Speed and space. That's my big two out of anything. That's what I could suggest.
Speed and space. Keep it safe out there, and hopefully you will run into Mark and the other Summit Sheriffs out on skis when the situation is right. Not after an accident or not after another incident.
Exactly. Please stop, say hello to us. We're always there to be there. And we've got a great team, and I'd love to meet you out on the slopes too.
Absolutely. Great team, and working all winter long and all summer long to help keep people safe behind the scenes and out front every once in a while. Well, Mark, thanks again for making the time to come in, talk about how law enforcement works come wintertime out on the slopes.
Thank you very much, Phil, for having me here.
Absolutely. Mark with Summit Sheriff talking about skier safety on the slopes. Phil Lindeman, Krystal 93.